Welcome to Health Options. Abdullah. Health Options is the program that not only tracks government policies on health, but helps you with the information you need to make the right choices about your health. Cloves are one of the most popular spices in the world. In addition to the sweet flavor they give to the dishes to which they are added, cloves are well known for their medicinal properties, one of which is immune support, as they increase the number of white blood cells in the body, helping us fight infection as a result of their high vitamin C content. Make sure you are part of today's Nature Scanner as we shall take you through the medicinal benefits of cloves. The coronavirus pandemic rages, with people perceiving it from different angles. We have those who believe in the reality of the virus and are adhering to the laid-down safety protocols in order to protect themselves and the people around them from contracting the disease, which is the ideal thing to do. Others believe that the virus exists, but still let down their guards for reasons best known to them. And need I tell you that these portend grievous consequences. On the other hand, are those who contracted COVID-19 one way or the other. Some recovered, others have died, while we have, of course, those currently undergoing treatment for coronavirus. Olubunmi Lawal Ayedun, a mother of 4 and the immediate past president, National Association of Nigerian Pediatric Nurses, contracted COVID-19 in the line of duty. She shares her story as a survivor and a better health activist on this episode of Health Options. You will get to meet her shortly. Welcome to the program.
For now, the best and most efficient way to avoid getting infected is through regular hygienic and sanitary practices, as well as social distancing. As individuals, we remain the greatest weapon to fight this pandemic. By washing our hands regularly with clean water and soap, disinfecting frequently used surfaces and areas, coughing into a tissue or elbow, and strictly adhering to infection prevention control measures in health facilities, we can contain this virus.
This is Health Options, and we have a COVID-19 survivor in the studio to share her experience. She is Olubunmi Lawal Ayedun, a nurse who contracted the virus in the line of duty. We are glad to have you on Health Options, Nurse Olubunmi.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Congratulations for pulling through COVID-19.
Thank you so much. I'm really grateful to God.
We thank God indeed.
Yes.
So let's start from the beginning now. You've been on this program, some times ago, and your mission here was to cheer up your colleagues, those particularly the frontliners, those ones attending to patients, at the isolation centers. We had you, give support to one of you at the Caro, isolation centers. You shared with viewers the kind of moral support, the PEPs you were giving to your colleagues attending to patients, just to boost their morale and to ensure that they give the best of treatments and they are in the right frame of mind to attend to patients. And somehow along the line, you found yourself as a patient for one who had contracted coronavirus at the isolation center. How did it begin? How did it happen?
Thank you very much for having me once again. Well, when you ask many of us who contacted COVID-19, how did we contact it? Many people will tell you, I don't know. So I'm also going to say, I actually don't know. Because intentionally, I avoided crowd. I do some of the things I need to do. But along the line, sometime last month, I had pain at my left lateral rib. Just pain. I wasn't coughing. I wasn't running temperature. I wasn't having any issue with my breath. I was okay, but I have this pain that prevents me from taking in enough air.
Oxygen.
So I went to the hospital, they treated me, and I left Every night I can't sleep. So at the point, the doctor said, okay, you know what? Let's check you for a COVID-19. I said, okay, fine, because I can't stand this pain anymore. So I was sent to the center, the COVID-19 treatment center, where I was admitted immediately, and they took my sample. The first sample test came, of course, no results. That has another issues. The second one again, but the third one said I was positive. That is how it all began.
And this is coming from you as a practicing nurse at the National Hospital, right?
Yeah, I left National Hospital a couple of years ago.
Okay.
But I had my treatment there because that is where I know and that is where I belong. Mm-hmm. So immediately it happens, my NHIS is there. So immediately it happened, I went there straight to National Hospital.
But are you a practicing nurse? You're still a practicing nurse?
Yes, I do. But I work with PHCs and some selected general hospitals.
Oh, okay. So it happened to you and you found yourself at the National Hospital.
Yes.
Feed us into what happened.
Okay. So I had a project in February, March, in another state outside FCT. So where we had to deal with a lot of people. At that time, in March, we started hearing about COVID-19. Of course, many people don't believe, even the healthcare professional. We're still in doubt then, if it's real, if it's not real. So returning back to FCT, and sometime last month, I had these symptoms, and I went, at the end of the day, I was diagnosed of having this. But one thing that worries me is the line of management, because now when you get to isolation center, there are what we call holding area. Holding areas means you have been suspected and they've taken your sample, but the result is not yet out. So in that holding area, I was there for 72 hours. So 3 days I was there waiting for my results. So while doing that, of course, other patients came. Some died. Some were sent out. Because
some died within the holding area?
Some died within the holding area. There was a woman that came, though she had underlying comorbidity of diabetics. So along the line, she died.
Was it because of lateness to her reporting late to the hospital?
Okay. Now, I saw her, she came in with her 2 legs. But at that time, she came in a very critical stage where she cannot do a lot of things by herself. She cannot eat by herself. She cannot stand by herself. She cannot even ease herself. So for me, she came a little bit late. But one thing I want the Nigerians to know is that lateness in prompt intervention do not really promote our survival. And this is what I mean. There's a protocol in most COVID centers that say, okay, they run 12-hour shift. Normally, an average hospital will run 3 shifts in a day. But in COVID centers, they run 12 hours shift. And oftentimes, the healthcare professional comes to see their patient twice in that 12 hours. And that has not been seen as being good enough to promptly respond to the need of the patient, especially those ones that actually get to the center late. So this is a major problem that contributes to mortality.
Okay, this is an issue that needs to be addressed.
Yes.
So that 12 hours interval whereby a health worker checks on a patient is not ideal.
It's not adequate.
It's not adequate.
Yes.
So what are you suggesting?
Now, I would say that we need more staff in the COVID centers. We need
isolation center.
In isolation center, we need more staff. And when you know, and there should be a stratification, you should not combine chronically healed patient with moderate or stable patient. Because the patients who are critically healed need prompt intervention. And again, the way the structure is, because we all know that the center, the facility was not built for COVID. So most of the time, the healthcare professionals are not located within the ward. They are outside the ward. So you see patients screaming and calling for help without them being heard.
So accessibility is an issue.
A very big issue.
Okay.
It's a very, very big issue. So even some of the patients who will die because the chain of communication is just too weak. So you see patients calling for help and there's no prompt intervention. And before you know it, the condition deteriorates, especially at night. At night, we have 12 hours. So if you just come in to see your patient maybe once in 12 hours and they're on oxygen and they're very, very sick, there's no medium of calling you, it's going to do more harm than good. So these are my experiences. And again, nutrition is the fundamental care when it comes to any issues, especially those patients that have diabetes, that have kidney diseases. So there should be a plan of meal, particularly for this patient, which we don't have. So the nutritionist...
That's for those who are the isolation centers.
Yes.
Okay.
So the nutritionist needs to sit up to ensure that every patient is taken care of. So if the patient have hypertension, for instance, you won't bring me other food. You won't bring me food that is salty. No. If a patient have diabetes, you need to go and see this patient, evaluate this patient, and bring food that is good for the condition.
Are you saying such things are not being taken into consideration as it is?
No.
For instance, if a diabetic who has who had tested positive for COVID-19 is in isolation, or someone who is hypertensive is there, and of course they have their own special diet back home. Are you saying such is not something that is continued, or there's a break in that link while they are the isolation centers?
At the moment, in this particular center, there's no provision for that.
Okay.
And come to think of it, we have a couple of patients who have kidney failure or kidney problems that need dialysis. That again is a hidden problem that is taking the life of Nigerians. So once they come to the isolation center, they cannot have dialysis because the machine to dialyze them will not be given out because they are COVID positive.
Okay, in this case, a separate one should be allocated to such patients.
Yes. What we need as a nation is not COVID-19 center, but we need a COVID-19 hospital where we have facility that will take care of every ailment, because being a COVID positive patient does not mean you cannot have any other underlying problem. So a diabetes patient can have COVID. Someone who has malaria can have COVID. Sickle cell patient can have COVID. But the problem is when they have issue like that, there's no specific intervention for them. And the time, 72 hours for a result to come out, is too long of a time.
Okay, but I've been made to understand that those ones whose condition is chronic or who have chronic conditions are the ones taken to the teaching hospitals and the tertiary health facilities. For instance, I think it's the fear of using the same equipment to attend to, or rather cater for those who had tested positive, and still using the same for people with normal ailments in the normal setting. So let me just hear the I's that needs to be dotted and the T's that needs to be crossed now.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ma. I also want to say, first of all, thank you to the Honorable Minister of Health. He's doing his bit, the President is doing his bit, but we need to scale up our game if we need to safeguard the health of our people. And now, first thing, like I said, we need a COVID-19 hospital, not just a center.
Dedicated for
COVID,
okay,
so that we can have other interventions for our citizens. That is very, very critical. We also need more staff. We need PPE. It's not enough. It pains me, it bleeds my heart to see patients dying in my presence because there's no PPE and the medical professional cannot come in to resuscitate this patient. It pains me that patients will need ICU care and they cannot move this patient to ICU because they have COVID-19.
So I think we got your message now. It's about dedicating those facilities that those who had tested positive, for COVID-19 can be attended with, right?
Promptly,
can be
yes.
used to treat.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Nurse Olubumi, for joining us on Health Options, and we hope that those in charge will do the needful, having watched you. Thank you so much, and congratulations once again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right.
In this time of despair, our country, Nigeria, needs us now more than ever. We stand a chance to save our great country, Nigeria. A chance to rise up from this pandemic stronger and better. What will be the gain if we do not learn from other countries and observe the lockdown to stop the further spread of the virus? If we loosen our guards and allow this virus doom our very existence, then what have we gained? This is the call to every Nigerian to unite as one and stop the spread of this deadly virus. Stay at home and stay safe. Remember, the virus doesn't move unless we move. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Africa's largest television network.
Cloves are perfect for people with blood sugar problems such as diabetes. This is because they act as insulin inside the body. It helps export excess blood sugar to cells, restoring balance and keeping blood sugar under control. More on the medicinal benefits of cloves as we bring you Nature's Scanner.
Cloves, as you know, is from the family of Mesticia, mostly grown in Nakula Island in the Indonesia. And the botanical name is Cystigum aromaticum. That's rheumaticum. It is widely grown, as I said, in Southeast Asia and some other locations. And it is obtained from an evergreen plant where the buds, which is what I'm showing you, these are the buds from where we obtain the clove after granulating the buds to get this powder. And in the kitchen, it finds a very good use. It's a kind of an international spice all over the world, even though it's from Indonesia. It has a lot of importance in terms of uses. It can keep hunger at bay. So for those who want to lose weight, it works there. It also helps to check the sugar within the body system of individuals. Basically, it has a lot of antioxidants. And anytime antioxidants are mentioned, you know the issue has to do with immune boosting properties, anti-inflammatory properties, antibiotic properties, antibacterial, antiviral. All these are loaded in this spice. And in my own lab, to be specific, when I was called upon, it is a spice I'm very, very familiar with because of its antioxidant property, as its anti-inflammatory properties. At this time of COVID-19, anything that has a lot of antioxidant effect will be a thing of interest, because these are the kind of things we need to take plenty, either in form of tea or in our foods or in any form. If you come to the oil has far-reaching uses in its preventing decay in the teeth of various animals, including human beings. It has a lot of anti-cancer properties. We've been able to use it to treat and cure cancer of the colon, even in the respiratory issues, still related to COVID-19, because COVID is epicenter of the throat, has a lot to do with the respiratory system. This has a lot of anti-respiratory properties, and they are not quite expensive. These are things you find in your kitchen that you don't even know their uses, but it has far-reaching uses. Either use it in pepper soup, use it in soup, or any other form of uses, even in drinking pap and all that, this will find a great use. This is a very, very good medicinal spice, and being able to use it successfully in even treatment of asthma because of its respiratory effect. I use this, I can put it in my tea and take, can put it in akamu and take. Some people even spread it on rice and take. It works. And if there are issues with the teeth, you can make some warm water preparation with it, just like you gargle with salt water. You can also gargle with it. Well, the oil is quite effective. It's applied to the particular teeth that has a problem. Now that we've spoken at length, it's now important to advise our viewers that since you have a lot of people may even have it in their kitchen, having ordered it at one time or the other, but not knowing what to do with it. So with this period of COVID-19, it's good to apply them in the ways I have mentioned, be it in akamu, be it in pepper soup, be it in even other soups you make for the benefit of the family, or even your tea, so as to prevent this COVID-19. The good thing about this COVID is that anything that has antioxidant effects, has strong immune boosting properties, will always have a role in COVID-19 prevention and even cure. Finally, the other aspects that we have not mentioned is its ability to cause sleep. At night, where some people use milk as the last thing on bed, it takes them to sleep. You can also have a tea of cloves in the night before bedtime, and it will quietly take you to sleep. So this is even better than taking Lexotan and other complicated synthetic medicines that may have afterwards effects. So you can see how important this herbal corner can become, because there are so many things you overlook, but whose benefits health-wise are very, very immense.
For now, the best and most efficient way to avoid getting infected is through regular hygienic and sanitary practices, as well as social distancing. As individuals, we remain the greatest weapon to fight this pandemic. By washing our hands regularly with clean water and soap, disinfecting frequently used surfaces and areas, coughing into a tissue or elbow, and strictly adhering to infection prevention control measures in health facilities, we can contain this virus.
And that does it on this week's episode of Health Options. COVID-19 stops with you, so do not let down your guards. A quick reminder also that you can go to our YouTube channel to watch the upload of these and other episodes of the program. Email us for your comments and contributions at healthoptions@nta.gov.ng. My name is Rabi Abdullah. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again.